Okay, ladies and gentlemen, to address some of the questions that we have on our percent formula, please remember whenever you have a percent problem to work on and there's calculations involved, you can use this. This is your percent equation. The part that you want equals the percent times your whole. At first, I just wanted you to go back and review what it means to have 100 of these little squares filled in, and then in this box you have an additional 25. That should represent 125%. 125 out of 100 is what we learned about what percent means out of 100. Now I wanted you to review a double number line. A double number line has one number line with percents, for example 0%, 25%, 50%, and you can go up by any increments you have. I'm going up by 25% because we were given 25% in our original problem. And we're trying to show the relationship above that you see here in a different way. So that's why I'm drawing my number line to go all the way to 125%. Now if you read this carefully, it says in the model above, 25% actually represents a quantity of 10 students. So on the number line, or the double number line, the second number line is going to represent the number of students that I have. And what you do with a double number line is you show that this 25% is the same as having 10 students. So with a double number line, if we double the percentage, we're going to double the number of students, or in this case increase by 10. If we increase by 25%, it means we're increasing by another 10 students, and another 25% gives us another 20 students, and the final 25% gives you an additional 10 students for a total of 50 students. So the double number line again has one number line for the percents that you're going to draw across from the students, and this allows you to see that each increment increases the same amount, but it just means something a little different. If we were to take our model up here and show that these 25% actually represents 10 students, then you would have another 10 students here. And then you would have another 10 students here. And then here is another 10 students. And then the other diagram has an additional 10 students. So you would see that there's 50 students total in this way, but also with the double number line. Now the rest of the questions on your assignment require you to use your percent formula that we talked about before. Anna and Emily made 54 bracelets together over the weekend. They need to produce a total of 300 bracelets. So 54 is the part. The percent is what we want, so we're going to use the letter P to represent that. And we know we take the percent times the whole amount. In this formula, you do have to divide by 300 to get P by itself. And I believe you will get 0.18 when you divide, which is the same thing as 18%. We know they haven't done much of the job. 18% makes sense because 54 is small compared to the 300. Now, Anna by herself made 32 of the 54 bracelets over the weekend. We want to find out what percent that Anna made by herself. So her part that she did is 32. Again, we're looking for the percent, but this time we're going to use 54 here because remember, they only made 54 over the weekend. We're going to divide by 54. P equals, this time, 0.6875. Converted, that gives you 68.75%. So as you can see, she did a lot of the bracelets over the weekend compared to Emily. Now, for question 4. We have 750 students in 7th grade. We have 625 students in 8th grade. What percent is the 7th grade class of the 8th grade class? So when we want to find the part, when we want to find the percent, we have to take the part that they're talking about first, which is the number of students in 7th grade. We're putting P for our percent. And we're comparing it against the 625 8th graders. So again, you're going to divide by the 625. This will get P by itself. In this case, when you divide that out, you're going to get a number larger than 1, and that's because we have more 7th graders compared to 8th graders. Converted, this is going to be 120%. Remember, when you're converting from decimals to percents, we move towards the percent sign to place values. That would involve us adding in a placeholder 0 here. So we have 120% 7th graders compared to 8th graders. It just means we have more. 120 is obviously more than 100%. Now, part B, the principal has to increase the number of 8th grade teachers next year if the 7th grade enrollment exceeds 110%. Well, we just found that we have 120% 7th graders compared to 8th graders. So yes, there is 120% more 7th graders, and 120% is more than 110%. Part C, at Kent Middle School there are 104 students in the band and 80 students in the choir. What percent of the number of students in the choir is the number of students in the band? So we want the number of students in the choir is our part, and the number of students in the band is our whole. So in this problem, we have 80 students in the choir. To find our percent, we're going to take and we're going to divide by our 104. So 80 divided by 104 gives us kind of a messy decimal, 0.679230769. So we can change it to a percent and approximate this at 76.9%. So the percent of students in the choir compared to the students in the band is about 77%. Now, we have a question about breakfast. Breakfast costs $1.25, lunch costs $3.75. What percent of the cost of lunch is the cost of breakfast? So the part that we pay for breakfast is $1.25. We're looking for our percent compared to the cost of lunch, which is $3.75. So again, you're going to practice by dividing by 375. The decimal value comes out to be 0.3 repeating. So remember, you can draw the repeater bar over the 3. And move my camera down. I apologize. I know you couldn't see that last part. So here's our part. That was our breakfast cost, $1.25. Here's P that represents our percent times 375, which was our lunch cost. Again, you're dividing by our whole lunch cost of $3.75, and there's our 0.3 repeating. Converting this over to a percent, remember to move it 2 places. So we have 33.3 repeating percent. What percent of the cost of lunch is the cost of breakfast? Now, on the back of this assignment, you had a conversion to do. Be sure this is complete. Alright, if you have any questions, you can let me know before you turn this in to me. When you're done making sure this is complete and you've turned it in, you do have a quiz to take right on this Google Classroom site. You'll answer the questions and then hit submit at the bottom of the form.